Thank you. Wow. What a great event. What a beautiful time to be in Savannah. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Mike, for the warm introduction. And I want to thank my dear friend, Alfredo Ortiz, for his tireless leadership. Alfredo, your commitment to the values that make this country great is an incredible example. So thank you so much. Now, I got to say, it's such an honor for me to stand with the Job Creators Network and with all of you who fight for the growth, freedom, and opportunity that drives the American dream. Look, I'm someone that grew up in a small business. I have a clear understanding of the responsibility and the privilege that I have as serving as the 28th administrator of the U.S. Small Business Administration. Now, I know I'm in a room full of amazing people, great patriots who understand that America's strength does not come from Washington. I think we're all very clear. It comes from the men and women in this room, men and women who build businesses, who create jobs, who grow our nation's economy. Now, our 34 million small businesses aren't just the backbone of our economy, but they are the heartbeat of every community. And they really do represent the best of America. It's the risk takers, it's the doers, the innovators. I've lived it firsthand, whether it was growing up on my family's fourth generation farm, helping out in my dad's small trucking company, waitressing through high school and college at family restaurants. I know what those first jobs meant to me and so many others that small business provide. Now, all of that inspired me to go on to a career in business and then to start my own small businesses. I also help take small businesses into large businesses. So I know what it means to take a risk, to meet payroll, to put everything on the line, not just for your dream, but for your livelihood. And that's why I believe that President Trump asked me to lead the SBA. It's incredibly humbling. It wasn't to grow the government. It wasn't to grow my resume. It was to restore power to the people who drive our economy and anchor our strength. That's all of you. That's all of you who support our great entrepreneurs and job creators. So just in President Trump's first 100 days, we've really taken very aggressive steps to make the SBA work for Main Street again. And we're really focusing squarely on our mission, which is to empower small businesses and grow the economy. That's the mission. It's founded 70 some years ago. We've got to get back to that. That's why we reduced the agency's staffing recently by 43%. We cut over $3 trillion in unnecessary spending because taxpayer dollars should serve taxpayers and small businesses, not bureaucracy. So as part of that, we implemented the president's executive orders. We ended DEI mandates. We got federal workers back to the office. We ended Green New Deal mandates. We put merit, accountability, and results back at the center of our work, and we're holding ourselves accountable. Now, we've reformed our loan programs, which are supposed to perform at zero cost to taxpayers. And to do that, we added citizenship verification. We've tightened our underwriting standards that were loosened by the prior administration, and we're making sure that taxpayer dollars only go to small business owners who make America great and strong and repay that many-fold, in addition to repaying their loans. Now, we've launched the Made in America Manufacturing Initiative recently, and it's really been a tremendous opportunity for me to see hundreds of manufacturers across this country. We are seeing industrial strength come back to this country. We are seeing our domestic supply chains be restored. We're seeing that small manufacturers have a tremendous demand for access to capital. And so we're expanding that limit. And importantly, in order to bring them back, we're cutting $100 billion in excessive regulation, better known as red tape and paperwork. So yesterday at our nation's capital, I was proud to stand with my House and Senate partners in the Small Business Committee to announce the introduction of a bipartisan bill to expand our manufacturing loan programs based on the tremendous demand that we have for manufacturing loans. You can see Made in America in action, and I see it out in the field every day when I'm at manufacturers. I was just one in Savannah, but we're also seeing it in the lending markets. First of all, banks are lending again. We're seeing 100 loans per week being approved for small manufacturers. 99% of all manufacturers in America are small manufacturers. And so that rate of growth is exceptionally exciting to think about. Made in America is coming back. We'll also see small businesses benefit from the $8 trillion in investment that President Trump announced this week at the White House into American industry. And we certainly see those impacts firsthand here in Savannah with the growth of Savannah's industrial base. Now, SBA reforms are restoring accountability, efficiency, financial and fiscal responsibility. And we believe this engine at the SBA can really power our growth going forward. And I'm going to make sure that it does, because I know what small business means. They create 2 out of every 3 new jobs. And so combined with President Trump's pro-business agenda to restore fair trade, cut taxes and regulations, and bring back energy dominance, we are seeing small business confidence return in spades. In the first 100 days of President Trump's second presidency, SBA loan demand from small businesses is up 80%. That's not a coincidence. That's what happens when leadership like President Trump's creates the right environment for hiring, growth, and expansion. Now, perhaps the single most important reform that our small businesses are looking forward to, and I just had a conversation about it this morning, is the extension of President Trump's tax cuts. And hopefully they'll be made permanent. Those tax cuts didn't just create a better tax code, they created confidence. They gave business owners the room to breathe, invest, expand, and hire. That's why I think this economy is spring-loaded if we can get those tax cuts. In the first Trump administration, they delivered record low unemployment, rising wages, especially for the bottom 50% of income earners. And they revitalized investment in communities that had been left behind for way too long. But all of that progress is at risk if we allow the tax cuts to expire, which will not only burden our small businesses, but our families. That would be a $4.5 trillion tax increase that would cost every family on average $2,000 a month. It's the number one thing I hear when I meet with America's job creators. If we want to keep our economy strong, we need to give them the certainty and the stability that they deserve for putting it on the line every single day. We need to make the Trump tax cuts permanent. And that's really what today's panel is all about. So I'm going to let you get to the panel. I just want to thank you all for being here. Thank you for standing with our small businesses. Thank you for standing for the American worker and our industry and our values. And thanks for all you're doing to help restore the foundation of American strength by fighting for free enterprise, the principles that drive growth, opportunity, and that protect the American dream. Thank you, and may God bless you all. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.